Hi everyone, it's Susan Kennedy here with a reading for you for December 2023. Firstly, what I'm going to do is just bring a general overview of what I've been shown and what I'm tuning into. And then I'm just going to go through a few separate topics like relationships, career, finances, home, just to see what guidance comes through as I'm reading so that we can get some kind of sense of what the overall theme is for December. Nothing to do with the astrology of the month because that's not how I work. All right, so first thing I want to talk about is that December, being the last month of the year, is always the time when it's a little bit like we have to clean up house. So if we haven't dealt with the year's issue, and this year's issue was self-mastery, what am I here personally to overcome or to accept? Those are the things that if you haven't done it, this month will be a tidying up of that, because you don't really want to carry it over to next year. So I'd encourage you to really have a look at that, at the beginning of the month and say, okay, if I'm questioning my purpose, do I know yet what that is? And remember that purpose is not necessarily the work that you do, it's the way your soul wishes to express itself in this lifetime. There's always an underlying energy of everybody's soul purpose, and that underlying energy is love. It's that we're here to express ourselves as loving and connected and purposeful in whatever it is that we choose to do in our lives. So it's not so much your work, but how do you want to show up? And that, I think, is a big theme for December generally. The overarching theme of December is this culmination of the year, the being able to notice and appreciate how much stress and tension and unnecessary worry that you might create in your own life in order to please or to give or to make things all okay. So this particular December, I feel we are going to experience a place of inner peace. The vision I've been given, and it always takes me a while to kind of work out what I'm being shown, but I had this vision of a rowboat, so actually one lone man in a rowboat, and he's surrounded by mountains. But there's no water. Now usually when you see a boat, it's on the water, and I usually see that boat where it's about solitude but dealing with emotions. So the thing I'm understanding is that this solitary rowboat that's now on the ground and surrounded by the strength of this circle of the earth. So no longer are we in this emotional energy that this year has been, but we're moving more into this grounded energy of support of Gaia, Mother Earth, the whole of the angelic frequencies that are surrounding us in their strength and their love. Seeing a lone man kind of made me wonder what that was. And really what it represents is that divine masculine energy within each and every one of us that is ready to step forward. And that divine masculine aspect is the part that is calm and assertive and takes right action and doesn't go off in a frenzy about things, but it takes right action. But overall, it's a very peaceful energy, and it's a very knowing energy. And then when I saw that image, suddenly all these other rowboats came around, and there were all these other men in their rowboats and all kind of looking at each other and saying, oh, you're here. So the thing that I take from that is that what we're going to see on a world stage is more and more peaceful energy. We're already seeing that happening with what's happening in the Middle East and what's happening hopefully in other war-torn places. I believe that what is happening that we are not seeing necessarily is that many of the leaders of the world, who are mostly men, are understanding that the energy that they have put out there cannot continue. It's almost like saying, well, this isn't getting us anywhere. So that will bring an energy of peaceful reconciliation. And people kind of saying, we're the same, you've got the same energy, you've got the same thoughts, so I'm not so alone. And I believe that that will be for you individually as well, that you may come to a point where you realize that whatever your rational thinking has been, that you're not alone in that. Because obviously there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of irrational thinking that goes on. But many of you are tapped into your heart, you're tapped into the divine feminine, you're tapped into the creative flow. And what we're saying is, you know, that when we're tapped into that energy and we actually bring in the divine masculine of strong, right action, is the only way I can describe it, is that there is a sense of pervading inner peace, but also knowing that you are not alone. So I get the sense that through December, you might just find more harmony coming in, more of a joint, what am I saying? I feel like whatever you've got going on personally, you're going to find support for it. You're going to find people coming in that you didn't expect, and people where you go, whoa, I didn't know that they either had the same point of view or that they could help me with this. So unexpected help from unexpected places will be a major theme in December for you. And also for you to understand that energy of you are not alone, that there are other people, no matter what you're going through, that have either gone through similar things or are going through it, and those people are going to show up in your life with information, with help, with support, and not in a way that is to fix or to exert manipulation or control, but just in a way of sharing. Hey, I've gone through this. Hey, this might be useful for you. So I believe you're going to see a lot of that showing up in your life. And if you look at the numerology of December, a 1 and a 2, it's saying, I stand alone, but I do better. I create 3, you know, a third entity when I couple up with someone else. So I expect to see a lot of relationship coming together in December. And one of the things I've been shown is that for many of you that have been in past relationships, there will be a revisiting either of the actual person or the energy that that person brought to your life. And it will be to see that you've done it differently. Either the growth will have been with you, or it will have been with the new person that comes into your life. Now, if you're in a relationship already, there will be this huge opportunity to link together and create that sense of, we've done this dance together, can we do it now with joy and with harmony? So I'm seeing a lot of relationship, and I'm talking romantic relationship at the moment, that in these relationships expect a lot more harmony, a lot more seeing of the other person's point of view. If there are new relationships, romantic, then the energy of that will be, this is something I've seen before, I'm going back to it, but I'm doing it differently. Now, in friendships and other types of relationships, there is a sense of strong boundaries being there, and that balance of giving and receiving. So that if you've been that person that's always giving, then really expect, not expect, but I know that you're going to be gently surprised when you know that energy is given back to you, and that you will find yourself receiving. And if you are the person that often feels that you can't give, there will be this opportunity to give in a way that is easy for you and surprisingly well received. Because oftentimes we want to give to people, but they don't want to take. You know, they kind of go, no, I'm okay. So there will be this, you know, I'm just being shown this real balance in energy with beautiful friendships and relationships where things are much more equal, and there's a lot more clear communication. I'm just going through my list here. Now, when I look at those of you that are searching for, let's say, what is your vocational purpose, or just struggling with, well, why am I here? There is a sense of knowing that what you've put in place before is now reverberating. So I'm being shown wherever you were 7 years ago, wherever you were, then the energy of that is now reverberating again in your life. So that will give you the clues, that will give you the insight, and it will give you the roadmap so that you can look at your life and say, well, for me, what is purpose? What is it that makes me feel like I'm fulfilled and that I am, let's say, contributing in the way that I want to contribute? So expect that to happen. And I'm being shown between the 12th and the 15th of December that those will be the dates where there is this almost star energy that comes in, and you really see, clearly what it is that fulfills you, because actually that is your purpose. So you'll find more clarity with that. As far as finances, finances is a big thing, isn't it, for so many people? But one of the things I'm being shown is to look at what you value this month. And because it's Christmas, Christmas will come into December. And if you're like me, I've got children and they're born a week before Christmas and a week after. So December's always an interesting month. Got a lot of friends with birthdays around this time. But it's what do you value? And how can you actually express your love in a way that isn't necessarily defined by how much money you spend? This value that you place on yourself and your friendships and your family will really help you set the tone for the next few years, because there's a shift happening, and that shift is coming back to what is real, what is important, and what is valuable to you and to them. And mostly it's things like time, the time that you spend, the quality of your sharing, the depth of your connection and your conversations. So the around, and I know it kind of seems a bit roundabout when we talk about finances, but the richness that you will gain through this coming month is that willingness to go a little bit deeper with the people that you care about, not be so much on the surface with your connection and your discussions. Those of you who are in that position where home is, what's the energy around home? So I'm actually seeing a lot of things being turned upside down around our homes this December, in a sense of a lot of clearing out. What is it that we need? What is it that we no longer want in that particular space? I know many of you are looking for homes and are in that space of, is it ever going to happen? So it does feel like the first 2 weeks of December, there will be a lot of movement, a lot of either moving, shifting, things happening quicker than what you would have expected. So things going in that direction. And for many of you, it will be looking at how you can have a place for yourself that will bring you more quiet, more peace, and a place where you can, and even if that's within your own home, where you can say, what can I do in this space that I live in to create more of a harmonic place to be? Because you'll start to observe how what's around you affects the way that you feel. So it's a big energy for our personal security. One of the things I've observed over many, many years is how a lot of natural disasters happen around Christmas. And one of the things I've also been observing in my work with people, my coaching, the healing, the readings that I've done of late, is the amount of inner conflict that people are carrying. And that inner conflict always comes from a place of, my soul knows what's right, but my mortal mind and my fear is taking over. So I'd encourage you to recognize that within yourself and to look at how you can become more aligned with what your soul knows. And your soul knows exactly what you need. And it's actually quite simple. We tend to complicate things a lot, but that fear of loss is something to be aware of. And what is it that you are really afraid of losing? I had a train of thought then and I lost it, so I'm not sure where I was going with that, but it will come back. So I've been called, I'm going to draw one Mother Mary card, because I do know that her energy this month is very much around, in the softest sense of, can you be gentle, can you be kind, and can you accept the divine flow of all that is coming to you and through you. So those of you that are opening up and awakening, and that is a lot of you, I know that you will experience more and more connection to higher guidance. You will feel it, you'll have the feelings, you'll have the, you'll be seeing the numbers everywhere. You will be in that space where you're kind of saying, I can't believe how quickly and how clearly things are coming through. So it's important to take notice of that. Now let's just have a look of the Mother Mary card that we will work with today. Our Lady of the Whispering Heart. And what I see for that is that whispers of love that may have long gone from you. So that's what I was saying about December, is I know for a lot of people it's a very interesting month, because if you've lost somebody, or that you're helping somebody at the moment, you've got people who are unwell, there's always this feeling of, what if it happens at Christmas, and missing your loved ones at Christmas. And especially if it's the first Christmas without a loved one, it can be very difficult. So more and more to tap into that eternal energy of love that is always there, and to listen to the whispers of your own heart. So that heart that sits there all the time, kind of beating and giving you life. And it's giving you life so you can use it and enjoy it. And it would be saying, what would give your heart pleasure? What would give your heart joy? And those things are things you cannot buy, I can tell you that now. So I'm also going to use the, these are, I think called the Lover's Tarot, and they're a massive deck, so they only have the major arcana in them. But I'd like 3 cards that give us, let's say, some other pointers to look at for this month. Okay, so the first one is the Chariot. Now, because December is very much predominantly a Sagittarian energy, Sagittarians love to travel. Everything travel, fun, adventure, freedom. So this would say that for you, it's not so much maybe the travel, but how far have you journeyed? How can you journey? So how can you, and I look at that, sorry, the 2 opposing horses, they're going in different directions. So it would be to look at that within yourself and say, okay, where is it that I want to travel energetically? So where does your soul want to go? What changes do you want to see in yourself? And of course, if you do want to travel, then obviously this month is going to be a fabulous time for it. It's a time to really explore the adventurous side. It might be planning travel now for next year, looking at where your heart wants to take you. And I'm always fascinated by travel because I love it. I love travel. And what do I love? I love the difference of, and the romance of Europe, the old buildings, the paintings, the colours, the food, all of that. So you've got to look at what is it in travel that lights you up. And if you're someone that loves the ocean and loves the desert islands, or loves the wild, adventurous places, it speaks to you about your own soul and about your own desire for experiences. So that Chariot card is saying travel is on the cards, but things moving, and things moving in a direction that you might have to take more control. So if there are opposing views about what needs to happen, then bring that peaceful divine masculine in that says what's the right action to take. Don't try and dominate or coerce or manipulate, and don't complain, but kind of look at it and say, how can I give my point of view in a way that is going to be heard? So a lot about communication. And changes in that. I knew that card would come out, so the Star. And what I see with that is being vulnerable enough to know what it is that you want. So, you know, her divine feminine energy that is vulnerable, it's naked, it's you know, connecting in with the heavens and saying, this is what I want, even though it may not seem appropriate, even though I might not think I can have it. Being vulnerable enough to, let's say, wish upon that star, but to let that be known. To let it be known to those people that you care about, but to the universe. And it's allowing the flow of emotion as well. So allowing yourself not to be too contained. And especially those of you that I know look after others. And, you know, you always have to be stoic and keep the upper, you know, strong upper lip kind of thing. Is that the right term? I'm not sure. But it's about saying, can you just allow yourself that flow of emotion that allows other people to see your vulnerability. And we connect more through vulnerability than we do through knowing everything. One more beautiful card for our month. Oh, I love that card. The Fool. And the Fool is the beginning. It's the unknown. It's stepping off and trusting that even though you don't know where something's going, it's going to be truly something that is worthwhile. So the Fool card, I love it because it represents a new beginning. And what better card to have as we go into the end of the year and the beginning of the next year. I like to with this card because see the sun up there. I'm trying to look around at it, but see the energy, the beautiful sun energy there, that gold energy. So that's what I was going to say about natural disasters. It's come back to me now. And being out of alignment and fear, because there's a lot of fear been around lately. So there will always be acts of God that happen, and they may happen around Christmas time because they often do. It's when we get tsunamis, earthquakes, all sorts of things, mainly because of the way the weather systems are on the planet. Now, there are things we can control and things we can't. And I know that when we can start focusing on that we can control, the fear levels come down. So it's knowing that this month you will have a new relationship with your own energy of fear, a new relationship with your energy of trust, trusting in the divine, trusting in your divinity, your capacity to make choices, your capacity to bring forward the wisdom from many, many lifetimes. And I'm really interested in that, how this mountain is here, because in my vision that I had, and I've never been to a place called the Dolomites, but I was reading about it this morning, and they're very distinctive mountains. So in that vision I had, it was almost these very distinctive mountains. And I'm hearing now, it's things like the 12 apostles, the energy of, you know, the guardian angels that are around us. So it's knowing that around you, the emotion has been dealt with for many of you. So now it's a time of grounding and bringing forward your ideas, bringing forward your rational thinking, taking right action, and sharing what you know and sharing your ideas with other people and not feeling so alone. I will be here before January doing other mini readings, but I just thought I'd share with you my overview for December. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your comments of what resonates with you and what you might see for December as well. And also thank you for subscribing and watching. And if you feel that this channel is good for you or anybody you know, then please share. And I really, really, really do appreciate that. Okay, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.